Everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Hashem, we get to be here today again. Another beautiful day here in Eretz Yisrael. Another beautiful Nate's Minyan. That beautiful Birchas Kahanim this morning. Thank you, sir. Very good, Baruch Hashem. And again, we always learn for the well-being of the Chayalim and the Chatufim and all of Amcha Beis Yisrael. The guys out there, they're doing such a good job, right? Their mama's doing amazing. Did you hear from your son, Yossi?
No, nothing.
Today you'll hear. Today, he finishes today, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's probably maybe.
That's what you told me.
Yeah, he finishes today. At the end of today, he's finish Sunday. Maybe he'll get it. It's not the Shabbat. We won't. No, we won't.
He's not finishing today.
Right. He's supposed to finish today. Hopefully.
And hopefully, he's about to go into the water. Right.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah, we're keeping time.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So today, so we're learning now in Likutey Halachos. We're in Hilchos Nesias Kapayim. We're in Halacha Hey. So that's 5, and today we're up to Yud Tes, which is 19. So yesterday, Reb Nassan introduced to us this beautiful idea of how important the Tachanun really is, and how beautiful Tachanun is. Right? How beautiful it is, where the Kohen gives us his bracha. And he tells us, he blesses us, bi'ahava, right? So that we can come to love the right things. He kind of puts us into the right perspective. That we instead of having the misplaced loves, we can love the things that are important and what's important, and be more in touch with our neshama, be more in touch with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and so on. And then when we come, and then the Shliach Tzibur says, and then we say Tachanun, right? So that's a time where Hashem wants to forgive us, right? We came to Hashem, where our neshamas are up in the Olam Hatzilus, right, in the highest place. Hashem wants to forgive us. He wants to forgive us, and we have to we have to ask Him for forgiveness. Now, we learned that the best way to get the forgiveness is to feel the embarrassment of how Hashem, you're always so kind to me, you're so good to me, and how did I do these things wrong to you? You're always so good to me, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu has an unconditional love with us, right? Really, he just loves us unconditionally. And we go on and we do what we do. We're supposed to feel that how we slighted Hashem, so to say, by doing what we did, and feel that embarrassment. The more we feel that embarrassment, that's why we put our heads down, we said, right? The same way we gave the example of if you have a politician that's being arrested, right? So what does he always do? He covers his face, he tries to hide himself, right? So here we're trying to cover us. That's a silly example, right? But it's an example that we've seen, right? We've seen, right? You know what I'm
Biden looks at his watch. Biden looks at his watch when he's ashamed of something.
Oh, he looks at his, okay.
Yeah, that was picked up in the news, and he showed him. It's funny.
Okay, he puts his head down.
Yeah.
He puts his head down. That's the same.
Yes.
No. So why do people? Because that's how we're supposed to feel that remorse. We're supposed to feel a little bit remorse and feel that. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to forgive us. Our rotzeh is shuv. Hashem wants to forgive us, and it's so kind. So we said, and that's such a beautiful thing that we have this idea of Tachanun, that Hashem gives it to us, and He wants to constantly gives us so many different ways to forgive us. So now we're going to discuss something today. Okay, so that's good every day. But then there are other times that we don't say Tachanun. How does that work? Let's see now. Okay? Yud Tes. V'chol zeh, all of this, right, of the idea of the Tachanun is b'yimei achol. Shoimim bahem Tachanun. Right? During the week, on the weekdays, we say Tachanun, right? And there's certain days in the weekdays we don't say Tachanun. But on the ordinary weekdays, right, we will say Tachanun. Aber b'Shabbos v'Yom Tov v'Shar HaYomim she'esh b'hem eizeh tosfos kedusha, right? But on Shabbos, on the Yom Tov, on the Chagim, right? And on any days during the week that have any added kedusha. Here, bechinas kedusha Shabbos v'Yom Tov ein omer b'hem Tachanun klal. The Shulchan Aruch says you don't say Tachanun. So let's say it's a day of Rosh Chodesh. During the week, you won't say Tachanun, right? If it's whatever it is, there's a chassan in the room, you won't say Tachanun, right? If there's a bris, you won't say Tachanun, right? Again, under the confines of halacha, right? This is what the halacha is. So why is it, and we're so to say, we're losing out We said how beautiful the Tachanun is, but now we're losing out on the opportunity to get the forgiveness. Right? So let's see how this works, okay? There's such a love that comes up, and we said that the ahava, right, is mechasa kol p'shoim. It can cover up even the willful, spiteful sins. We feel that love when we're supposed to. And now we understand when there's a what do you call it, Rosh Chodesh, we're supposed to feel that closeness to Hashem, right? Feel that closeness to Hashem. That even and why? How can you feel the closeness to Hashem? Because Hashem says, if you look in the Kriya Torah for Rosh Chodesh, it says we're bringing a chatas l'Hashem. It's strange. It's the only time you see that. It says it's a chatas l'Hashem. Do you know what I'm talking about, Eli? No, we say no. That's you'll see it in the Kriyas HaTorah. We don't say that. Okay. We don't have that in Muslim. It's in the Kriyas HaTorah. We constantly say bring a chatas l'Hashem. And why is that? Where Hashem says, you know something? Hashem says again. This is Hashem said. I acted a little hasty when it came to the moon that came to me with the claim that you can't have two malachim mishtamish with bekeser echad, right? You can't have two kings with one crown. So I said, okay, go make yourself smaller. And then he was complaining. So Hashem said, I'll give you the stars and all the other things that all that. But Hashem says, look, I acted a little bit hasty. And that's the time on Rosh Chodesh we get forgiveness, right? Hashem forgives us. He forgives Klal Yisrael because He Himself says, I made a mistake. So how could I not forgive the people that they made mistakes? Amazing, right? Huh?
It's a little radical.
But why? Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do we say it's a chatas l'Hashem?
No, I hear. It's a radical
How do you explain it otherwise?
Yeah.
How do you explain why are you bringing a chatas l'Hashem? That means that Hashem says, bring a chatas for me. Well, no,
The word can be interpreted both ways. The way that we're interpreting it is a radical way of interpreting it. Because I can say I'm bringing a chatas l'Hashem, I'm bringing a chatas to Hashem. We're interpreting it, I'm bringing a chatas for Hashem.
That's what Chazal say. That's not.
I know, but it's a radical.
But that's Chazal. I didn't make this up.
No,
I promise you, this is not my idea.
No, I hear.
I couldn't come up with something like that.
That's an amazing concept.
It is. It's an awesome concept. A sin offering. A sin offering. Yeah. Okay. Begam ein tzrichen oz leired leilamois hatachteinim. You don't have to go down to those worlds, right? Like we said, when you do Tachanun, we go down. We're going down to all those places, the Dora Klipas, right? La'ales and the Tzaitis Misham, because there's such love, there's so much amazing thing, that connection we feel. Ki hakol nistake memela aydei riboy hachesed v'ahava shedimshach oz b'yoyse, because there's such a love. There's such a joy and a love going on during that time. Things get repaired based on just with the love itself. That's a fascinating thing. But again, we have to feel that, right? Again, everything works. The more you feel it, the more you work on it, is the better results you'll wind up having. Because there's an additional kedusha on those days. This added holiness on those days. There's something added. Right? Shehu bechinas kedusha Shabbos, which is an aspect of the kedusha of Shabbos, right? Because everything stems from Shabbos, right? All holidays, everything comes from Shabbos. How do you see that? We see by when it comes to Pesach, it says when we're counting the Sfira, it says what's the lashon that the Torah uses on the morning after Shabbos, right? Yeah, whatever. Okay. Sha'az Ika Haras HaNekuda, that's the awakening in Nekuda. Shemeya B'Sheshis Yemei Achol, that's the Nekuda that we wake up. We spoke about this. That's why we say the Yom every day. We're always bringing in Shabbos. We're trying to bring Shabbos into everything. Ki Afa Pisha She'amarnu Lamala Shebe'ez Shashem Yisbarach Ma'avir Cherpaseinu Oz Onu Tzrichen Lizbayes. Even though we said yesterday in 18, right? In 18, we said that at the time that Hashem Yisbarach is passing over our embarrassment. Oz Onu Tzrichen Lizbayes B'Yoser. We have to be embarrassed. We have to say we're sorry. Kama bekama psukim, as it says in Kama, aval zeh loy yia li'olam chas v'sholem ki bevadai b'gemara tikun liga ki me no, one second. Aval zeh loy yia li'olam chas v'sholem, right? Ki bevadai b'gemara tikun ligamri b'yoyim shekulei Shabbos. On that day when Mashiach is going to come, that it's going to be the Yom Shekulei Shabbos. It'll be a day that'll be we'll just feel that connection, feel that love with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Yom Shekulei Shabbos, right? Bevadai oz loy nisbayish klal. Then we don't have to feel that embarrassment, because again, we will feel that closeness to Hashem. We'll feel that closeness to Hashem, so we don't have to feel the embarrassment. We won't be distant from Hashem. When we're distant from Hashem, we have to feel the embarrassment that we're distant from Hashem. Right, and on that day we won't have to be embarrassed. Right, look at the beautiful words from the Navi Tzvanya brings. On that day, I won't be embarrassed from all of my wrongdoings. I won't be embarrassed anymore, because I'll feel that connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, v'ksiv v'lo yevoshu ami li'olam, and the Navi Yoel said, wow, look at this, v'lo yevoshu ami li'olam, right? My nation, right? What won't be embarrassed for eternity. V'al zeh miramzim yomim she'ein aimer b'hem tachanun. This is hinting to on the days that we don't say tachanun. You want to say something else?
Yeah, I since we learned this Torah yesterday, I had I think better, more meaningful Tachanun, even in Mincha. We say Tachanun also, so I assume it's the same idea. And then I listened to sometimes these psychological podcasts. Ellie, you could probably get to this. I don't know you're not going to appreciate it so much, but they speak about shame and the busha that we feel as not necessarily something that's so healthy. It's that's how they speak about it. This is. I'm not. What's that?
Who says that?
Well, so again, this is modern, let's say, psychology.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I should be a sociopath and just do what I want and not care. It's just that this shame. Again, we have an outlet.
No, but what's this shame coming from? The shame is coming because I come to realize how much Hashem loves me. So it's a very natural feeling. In other words, I realize how much Hashem loves me, right? Let's think about this, okay? I realize how much Hashem loves me, and then I think about what I just did, what I was involved in. How could I do this when Hashem is giving me so much? Do you understand? In other words, it becomes natural when you recognize the situation.
Not like I'm a bad person, Shem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not right. So in many ways, this is more what I would try to explain.
It's supposed to bring you closer to Hashem. This embarrassment, shame brings me closer to Hashem, not away from Hashem.
Because love covers up.
Maybe I don't know what they're talking about, but what they could be talking about is that when you come to a shame, you feel ashamed, that distances you from Hashem. I'm so bad, so how can I have anything to do with Hashem? Right? People do that, right? Yeah. They say, I did this wrong. The Yetzirah tells them, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. So what do you have to do with Hashem, right?
Yeah.
Right? Even especially a guy that does a little tshuva, right? And then the next thing you know, he falls down again, right? He falls down again. So the Yetzirah tells him, hey, who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? You see the same guy, nothing changed. Right? That's the Yetzirah telling him. But of course he changed.
Modern psychology has no place for God, so shame has to be a bad thing. Mm-hmm. It can't be from love. It can't be from God. It can't, because that doesn't exist in modern psychology. Mm-hmm. So they're right. Are
you discussing in this through modern psychology these things you're listening to? Is this what it is that we were discussing? What you're bringing?
They were
Are they religious people?
It's not necessarily. It's not necessarily so much religious. It's just more psychological. Your uncle would understand that. I mean,
my uncle.
You know what I'm talking. No, but again, this is. I agree that how fortunate we are that we have these Torahs and this system to be able to say, look, everyone has these feelings of either shame or inadequacy.
How do you deal with it?
How do you deal with it?
Right. So we're
Where is
learning.
it coming from? And so he says, hey, look, love, he keeps saying this, love covers up.
Everything.
Love covers up everything, meaning and now.
Even the spiteful
state of
sin.
love, because it's right after Birchas Kohanim and all the tefillah that we've been doing. And so it's, look, I know that I did this, and that. And it's like you forced me, like you said, there's another, these are all things. You forced me to go down.
No, we're not for. No, I want. No. Wait a second. Hold on. When the politician is getting arrested, right?
Yeah.
Is anyone forcing him to cover his face? Is there any rules that he has to cover his face? He can stand there and smile. Did they ever do that?
Right.
Why are they covering themselves? They're embarrassed. So in other words, it's natural, right? They didn't rehearse that, right?
Yeah.
People don't rehearse that. They just do it naturally.
Right.
So this becomes a natural thing where I just feel, wow, Hashem, I realize, how did I do this? I put my head down. And we said that also when we put our head down, we could also think that, Hashem was supposed to have you read this in life, right? We're supposed to have you read this in life. So Hashem, can it be maybe that this will be my Yerida? I'm bringing upon myself the Yerida instead of you have to introduce one to me. Nice controlled Yerida, right? Now, okay, it's just the different ideas, okay? But here we're saying when it comes to today's lesson, one second. Today we're saying that whenever there's a day that there's more kedusha, right? And the more kedusha is connected to Shabbos, right? And the same way on Shabbos you don't say the Tachanun because you feel that's so connected to Hashem. The love covers over everything.
There's no shame because I'm.
You don't have to have shame then because you just feel so connected to Hashem. You're so connected. You feel the love. Ki nimshach behem kedusha Shabbos b'yoyser shemerames al seif kemar hatikun shoz nisbatal habusha legamre. At the end of time, the busha will be gone. There won't be any more busha. We'll realize why won't there be any more busha? Because again, when Mashiach is going to come, he's going to show us. He's going to show each and every one of us why all the trials and tribulations we had to go through in our lives and all the things we had to go through and why it was really for our good. Everything was really for our good. And we don't necessarily understand it, but we believe. We believe that. But do we understand it? Maybe, no, we don't. But believing it is when we're going to see Mashiach on that day. Hopefully it'll be very, very soon. Maybe today. Bedrat Hashem, right? We'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu. And he'll teach and explain to each and every one of us what we had to go through. Isn't that amazing? Okay. Okay. Atzaif Gemara Tikin Shaz is Batal Abushal Gami V'Alkein Ein Bahem Nefilas Hapayim Klal. Therefore, we don't have any Nefilas Hapayim. Therefore, we don't have to put our heads down. We don't feel the embarrassment. We can just feel the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that He gives us this extra kedusha in that day. Whether it's Rosh Chodesh, like we said, or it could be any other. It could be Purim. It could be Chanukah. Whatever days that are in the weekday that we would normally say Tachanun. When these days come about, we cancel the Tachanun. And why is that? Because there's more kedusha. When there's more kedusha, you feel the love with Hashem, and the love it covers up even the Peshayim, like we said. Okay, now we're going to go on to that. That was the preview for the Nefilas Hapayim of Tachanun. But again, we're going to get to Tachanun soon. Now we're still in. Now, next thing, what do we do after Tachanun? We say Ashrei Nevo L'Tzion, right? Everyone's already checking out when it comes to Ashrei, right? They're taking off their talis and taking off the tefillin, right? Right, I'm leaving in the next 3 minutes, right? I got to get out of here, right? But the whole point is that the Ashrei Nevo L'Tzion, that's the Yeridas HaShefa. That's when, in other words, you prepared. Well, let's just go over it one more time, right? So you prepared in the morning. You were in the Olam Asiyah, right? In this world, right? And then you said the Ketoros and the Karbonos, and you did all the right things. You did nice, right? Okay, you said the brachas, and then you raised yourself up from this world. You went up to the world of Yetzirah, right? You took a trip. Next world up is Yetzirah, right? And then you went through Psukei de Zimra. Right, we finished Psukei de Zimra. You have that Kaddish, right? The Chazan does the Kaddish Baruch Hu, right? Brings you up to the world of Bria, right? Next world, right? Okay, and then when you say Birchas Kriya Shema, and then you say Shema, and then you say the last bracha Go'al Yisrael, right? So then you take your 3 steps back, You're leaving the world of Bria. You're walking into the world of Atzilus, which is the throne room of Hashem. Right? So that's what we're up to when we get to Shmon Esrei. So now we're up in the throne room of Hashem, right? And then we want to accomplish you have your audience with the king. So you want to ask the king for everything that you need, right? Finally, now I made it, I prepared myself, I have the audience with the king, so now I'm in front of the king, so I can ask the king. But that's why in Shemon Esrei, we have the 19 blessings, we praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then we ask him for all the stuff that we need, right? And then again, we end off and we thank Hashem for everything. Okay, the modim, and now we're ready to leave. So when we're ready to leave, and Hashem is giving us our bags, right? He filled up our suitcases, right? We're going to go on a trip now, they're going down. So he filled us our suitcases up. Now the question is, how do we get those suitcases down here, all the things that we need, right? We need refuah, we need Yeshua, we need geula, we need parnasa, we need all those things that we asked for, right? Slicha, kapara, we asked for all these things in Shemon Esrei. So Hashem gave it to us. But how are we going to get it down? Because there's going to be a lot of roadblocks on the way back down now, right? Because I'm all the way up there. Now I got to figure out how to cross all those borders. I got to get through I got to get out of the world of Atzilus. I have to get into the world of Bria. Then I have to make my way through the world of Bria. I have to make my way through the world of Yetzirah and then I have to get myself into this world, right? Sometimes people have trouble getting through, even the customs, right? They're carrying something they shouldn't necessarily have, and they're always worried about it, right? Right? These are all a mushal for the nimshal, right? Why do we have borders over here, right? And why there are rules and customs and all of that? Because that's really how it is up there. So we said when we say the Tachanun, we're saying to Hashem, I'm sorry for everything, Hashem. I realize, look what you just gave me, Hashem. You're giving me all of these beautiful things here, and am I really worthy of getting these things? I asked you, Hashem, for parnas. Wow, you gave. Wow, my bag. I got so much in this. Wow, you filled it up. It's amazing. I asked you for all these things. You gave it to me. And what did I give you? So I feel the embarrassment again. Yes, you understand? You're so good to me, Hashem. You're so good to me, and this is what I did. I realize. So I feel. So then, while I'm up there, I say to Hashem, I'm sorry, and I work out all of the things, all of my deficiencies. Right? Why? So when I do that, I will get. I'll have, so to say, I have a pass to get through all of the border controls up on high. You understand? That's why we need all of that, right? Now, when we get to, so we're going to learn when we're in the Olam Atzilus and we do Tachanun, the what do you call it? The Kaddish. We have a Kaddish after the Tachanun, right? We have a Kaddish. So that one takes us down one world. Right? Then we go into Ashrei and Nevotzia, and this is here we are now. So let's learn about Ashrei and Nevotzia. But we're descending now, right? We were ascending, now we're descending.
I just had this idea, and I'll pitch it to Reb of like a complete idiot's guide to Breslov Efrat, let's say, where like they would have these ideas, but written about, okay, now in this section, so now folks, we're coming down out of the clouds. Yeah. And we're starting to bring it down. We're heading back into the world of Asiyah. And here's the shame, and here's like the shame part, but Hashem loves us, so so it's okay. You never give up. But basically, like through this, to be able to keep all of this, and here comes the Kohen, and make sure he says Ahava. Like something, the Cupid, like that brings out.
Yeah.
In
okay.
Yeah. You need like a real mumcha to be able to.
What we just said now, you can do that.
I know. I'm talking about
you need it simple, very simple.
It has to be this in a much simpler form.
I understand.
But in the language that the people understand.
I understand.
Really
I'm up there in Atzilus, and I show my suitcases, I have all my stuff, right? And I'm going to come down here, I show you the border guard.
Yes,
yeah.
Declaring, you got to declare your...
Yeah. They're checking your suitcase out. You're not supposed to have this. Come on, you did that. Yeah, okay. No, we're just trying to make it a little interesting. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's nice, right? But it's amazing. The way Rav Nosson wrote this, it's fascinating to really understand what we're doing. In other words, again, Rav Nosson always tells us he's never going to tell you to do anything that you're not already doing. He's never going to introduce to you to take on new things, right? He's just going to show us the beauty of what we're already doing. How beautiful it is. And I think he's doing a great job, right? Yeah, he's really doing okay, anyway, let's see now. Here we go. So now we're going to do Chav, okay? So that's where we're drawing that Shefa, right? When we say the Ashrei and the Voltzian Sha'oz, Yeridas HaShefa Kamuva Bekavanes. And that's the Yeridas HaShefa that's talked about in the Pri Eitz Chaim and so on. Here, I'll show you even in the Siddur that I use. So it actually shows you by Ashrei and the Voltzian, Yeridas HaShefa. Want me to show you, Yossi?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, there's no fancy picture, but...
Like, I'm talking about a guy who looks
I know.
like Waldo.
Here.
Down. And he's like, let's go.
Yossi, here,
The
take a look.
plane maybe starting to come up.
I got that Siddur by Tol Bazaar, it's amazing. Yeridas
It
HaShefa.
does
Oh,
say
there we
that.
go, there we
You're not so
go.
crazy.
Wow.
You're not so crazy.
Yeah, it's a Tol Bazaar Siddur. Yeah, it's a beautiful, I love that Siddur.
It's a what siddur?
Tell us all.
I got it when I got it in
So
Tol
that's why
Bazaar.
everyone starts to take their Halachos and fill them up.
Yeah, that's a special time, right? That's
Yeah.
the Yerida. I'm going to go to the office to make. I got to get to the office to make my money. No. This is where it happens. It doesn't happen there. It happens here. Okay. Ki al yedei nekuda bechinas malupim. Right. So back to the malupim again. We're in lesson 34. So the Rebbe talked about the malupim. We had many lessons on that. The malupim is the line and the dot in it that goes u. Right. That's the line with the dot that goes u. So we said the line. Just to review for a moment. Right. The line is like a vav, which is 6. Okay, the dot is like a yud, which is 10. So the basic thing that we learned is that that's really the luchos and the aseres adibros. How is that the luchos and the aseres adibros? Chazal tell us that the luchos were 6 by 6. They were 6 by 6, and the aseres adibros were 10, and they were chokuk. They were engraved onto the luchos, right? And that's what we do, right? So we said that we have the luach lipecha, we have the luach of our heart. Right? And we have to take our words and inscribe it into our heart to feel. Right? Remember we learned those things, right? We want to use our words to enter into our heart. It's not just, we don't want to just pay lip service, but we want the words that we were saying to actually affect our hearts. Okay? Okay, Yayidei Zed Nimshachim Kol Hashpois Bebechinas Harcha Picha V'Amleyu. Yossi, you're part, right? You like that part very much, right? Hashem, fill up my mouth. I'll make my mouth wide. Fill up my mouth. So fill up my mouth, and that okay. Kamavoya Betchila Satayra, as the Rebbe wrote over there in the lesson, the beginning of the lesson, again 34. Okay, Alkein Aimim Shalish Pam Kodesh Uvaval Tzion Keneged Shalish Nekudais. So again, when we say we have this idea in Tefillah, right? And he's going to go over it now. First, we say Kadosh Kadosh in Birchas Kriyashma, right? And then we say Kadosh Kadosh again in Kedusha, right? Reb Nosson he's going to introduce it soon, okay? But now he's talking about the Kadosh Kadosh that we say in the Volatziyah, right? Remember we say Kadosh Kadosh in the Volatziyah? Mm-hmm. So that's the three things: the Tzaddik, the Chaver, and himself, right? The 3 points. What are the 3 points that we have to have? That we have to have the conversation every day with the tzaddik, right? And we said, how can you have a conversation with the tzaddik? Learn the words of the tzaddikim, right? When it says when you learn the words of the tzaddikim, the sfas of daivras bekiva, right? That his lips are moving in the kever, right? We know that, right? When we say the words of Tehillim, David HaMelech is involved, right, and so on. So when you read the words of the tzaddikim, right? So then they're actually talking to you. You're talking. You're saying the words. So to say, having a conversation with the tzaddik. If you can have a conversation with the tzaddik, matay v'manayim, how wonderful that is, right? Okay, then you have to have a conversation every day, dain l'dain, right? Have a good, heartfelt conversation because everybody gets their special nakuda each day. Right, and I have to use my nakuda to help affect you, and you use your nakuda to help affect me, to get me closer to Hashem, and you closer, right? That's a very important thing. And we said, of course, my ba'atzmai. In other words, I have to believe in myself, right? We have to believe in ourselves and believe what we're doing counts, right? That's such an important thing, right? People, they don't spend their time in tefillah because they don't think it counts. Like, Hashem doesn't want to hear from me. Like, why, so I'll just say it as quick as I can, because I have to, if I don't say it, I'm going to get smitten by the angel of death or something, right? So I'm going to say the words. Right? That's what most people do. They don't understand. They don't believe that they have the koyach of accomplishing with their tefillah. Right? The people don't believe in themselves. But that's a very important problem, right? That we have to believe in ourselves that we can affect things with tefillah. Right? Anyone can do that. The Ameh Kulam Tzadikim, right? And the whole idea is Hashem wants us. Hashem doesn't want to cause us problems. Hashem wants to give us good. So when we ask Hashem for it, He says, "Oh, thank you. I didn't want to give you this bad." Hashem says, "Thank you. I want to give you good in your life. Now you asked me for it, I can give it to you." Do you understand that? Isn't that amazing? Hashem wants to give us good. So Hashem is grateful when we ask Him for something, so He doesn't have to cause us problems. He doesn't want to cause us problems. Did you realize that? Hashem doesn't want to cause us problems. He wants us to have everything good in life. That's why He made such a beautiful world, right? All the beautiful things, beautiful fruits and beautiful everything. The thing, you could just see the mountains, see everything. It's gorgeous. Hashem wants us to enjoy. But we get in trouble, and we don't ask Hashem to forgive us for things, and that's why we have our problem. But we have to believe in ourselves. Shemisham nimshacha hashefa. That's where the shefa comes from. Like we said, harcha picha v'amleyu ki hanekuda bechinas kodesh. That nekuda of the malupim, right? That little dot. That's the holiness. That's the 10, which is connected to the Eser Mamoros, right, that Hashem used to create the world, the Aseres Adibros, the 10 people that we need for the minyan, which is the 10 ideas of the spheros, right? All these beautiful things are of the 10s, okay? And that's the Nekuda. All these ideas are found in lesson 34. So if you like these ideas and you want to see more about them, you can open up the Likutey Moran, lesson 34, and you'll see where Rav Nosson is drawing all these things on. And you won't necessarily find how he pulled these things out, but you'll see these concepts in there. And it's amazing how Rav Nosson pulled those concepts out of there and plugged it into these things to give us this beautiful limud, okay? Balkein, Batchila, Shoimim Kedusha Diyoitzer, right? In the beginning, we start off, we say in the Birchas Kriya Shema, we say Kadosh the first time, right? That's the first time in the morning prayers, right? In the morning prayers, it's the first time we say Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. That's the first time in the prayer of Yotzer, right? Ki Birchas HaMa'orah is the Kriya Shema Heim Bechinas Olam Habriya. So we know that we spoke about that before, right? When you say Birchas, when we start off in the morning, we're in the world of Asiya. And then we say Psuke de Zimra, we rise up to one world, we go to the world of Yetzirah. And then when we say Birchas Kriya Shema, we're in the world of Bria. Okay, so now we're in this world of Bria. And again, this is all coming from the Pri Eitz Chaim. Okay, Shesham Tzrichim Lekasher and Nekuda. I have to connect that Nekuda. Ki Bria Bechinas Liba. Bria is my heart. Hey, wait a second. Look at that. Bria is my heart. Liba, my heart. Oh, so that's the whole idea of the Malupim, right? The words have to, the Kiddush has to get into my heart. Those three ideas, the tzaddik, the chaver, and myself. I have to make sure I get that into my heart. How important that is. She'ein bechinas kadosh, the vav, right, the vav, like we said, k'meisha kasu sham, ayin sham, v'acher kach, tefillah shmona esrei, we have the shmona esrei, sham ikar kedusha b'tzibah. That's the main kedusha in the tzibah, right? The climax of our tefillah. The climax of our tefillah is shmona esrei, right? We want to get to the shmona esrei, and that's the part that we're supposed to do b'tzibah, right? We're supposed to have 10 people. Right, there's supposed to be at least 10 people when you say the Shmon Esrei. You're supposed to say it b'tzibah. Ki oz ika oras nekuda. That's the main shining. That's the shining of the brightness of the nekuda shemeya b'atzilus that shines in Atzilus. Atzilus is the most bright place. It's the brightest place. It's the place where even malachim don't have the right to come in there. Do you know that? Malachim do not have the right to come into the world of Atzilus. So that means when you're in the world of Atzilus, the Sitra Achra is not there. He can't go there. He can only go up to Bria. Your neshama, our neshamas go up to the world of Atzilus. The malachim can't get in there. Is that amazing? So your mamish, you and Hashem. Your mamish, you and the Neshama and Hashem is together in Shmon Esrei. Is that awesome? There's not, huh?
It's like a all-access VIP pass.
It's the best pass. It's the all-inclusive VIP pass. You're meeting with Hashem. He runs everything. You're meeting with the big boss, the biggest boss. Unbelievable. Okay, Shemei Batzila Shehu Bechinas Tefila Shmon Esrei. That's the idea of Shmon Esrei. Shehu Bechinas Pi Yadaber Chachmais. Again, my mouth, right? The mouth we know is Malchus. Malchus is peh, right? Malchus is peh. Right? My mouth can say chachmas, right? Say beautiful things. These words of Shmon Esrei that the Anshe Knesset Agdola set up for us, we have no idea what's hidden inside those words. And it's so to say, like you have to open up a combination lock, right? So you have to go a little this and that and that. Those words are so carefully chosen. Every word in Shmon Esrei was so carefully chosen to be able to accomplish what we need to accomplish. We say then the main kedusha. Oh, we're coming down from the world of Atzilus to Bria. When? We have to say kedusha again. Right? We need to remind ourselves in the next world as I'm coming down. Oh, the conversation with the tzaddik, the conversation with my friend and myself. This is very, very important. I need to understand it because that's the chizuk that we need. Right? We all need chizuk. Right? We need to speak to Hashem, His Baididus. Speak to a tzaddik. Believe in ourselves. Speak to a friend. Tzrichin loime sham gam kein kedusha. Ki ikir bechinas hakedusha tzrichin loime bebriya v'atzilus. The main kedusha we have to say is when we're in the world of Bria and Atzilus, Shehem Bechinas Leiv, like we said, that Bria is an aspect of Liba, we said, right? The idea of Bria is the heart. Okay, so that's why I have to say, Va'peh, the Peh is in Atzilus, right? The Peh is in Atzilus. Why is the Peh in Atzilus? Because that's where we're speaking to Hashem. Right, we're speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kidei lekasher alev el hapeh. The main point is, and this is such an important thing that Rabbi Nachman brings in lesson 34. Everything we say, the words that we say, we have to make sure it affects our heart. We have to get the words into our heart, not just saying the words, but to think what we're saying and get those words to affect our hearts. It's the most important thing. V'zeh bechinas kadosh kadosh. Okay. Then, therefore, when we say the Birchas Yoitzer, again, Birchas of Yotza Moris, which was the world of Bria, Shu Bechinas HaBria Tzrichin Lekasher Bechinas Bria Dahainu HaLeiv Latzilus. I'm trying to connect my Leiv to Atzilus. We said Atzilus is the Peh. Right? So I'm trying to connect it with the Hainu El HaPeh. V'alkein oimim sham sholosh pa'amim kodesh kedei lahamshech hakedusha me'hanekuda shu sholosh nekudas. And I'm trying to get that into my heart, the lave, that the words of the mouth should be able to come into the heart. Achakach betfila Shmon Esrei bebrichas bebechinas Atzilus. When we're in Shmon Esrei, we're in the world of Atzilus. We take a big trip. We're going light years away, right? It's light years and light years away. We have no idea what kind of trip we're going on. We're going on, the Neshamas are going on. We're standing in shul, but your Neshama is flying. It's going at the fastest speeds to get to these worlds. It's unbelievable. So I have to say Kedusha. Kisham Ikya Kedusha, that's the main place of Kedusha, like we said. There's nothing there. We said that yesterday, just to remind you. We said yesterday when HaKadosh Baruch Hu had the shattering of the vessels, right? So the shattering happened in the world of Atzilus. It happened in that world, and they fell down into the world of Bria, into the world of Yetzirah. The most of them fell into the world to Asiya, right? You know it is, right? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So they fell all the way down. The bigger shards fell down to this world, right? But there are shards. But there's only Kedusha. There's only Kedusha in the world of Atzilus. Kisham etzem anekuda, that's the main place in the Nekuda shehem bechinas kodesh shemisham mamshichin hakedusha. That's where we draw the Kedusha from. We bring Kedusha in our lives from that trip that we took up to in Shmon Esrei, we bring down Kedusha, because that's the place, that's the headquarters of all holiness. Ella laved into our hearts, and let the Kedusha affect our hearts. And that's the most important thing. Let things affect your heart, because then you feel with your heart, right? As long as it's in the mind, it's just information. But how do you get it to feel? How do you feel it to affect you on how you act? That's getting it into the heart. That's why it's so important to bring it into the heart. Oh, therefore, when we're coming back down from the world of Atzias and we're coming into the world of Bria, which is the world of Ashrei and Avolotzian, Tzrichin, Lachzar, V'loimer, Kedusha, Shenucha, Lekabal, Hashefa, Animsheches, Misholish, Kedusha. Right? So I have to bring the Kedusha with me into the next world. And that's, so to say, my path to get into the next world.
Remember we said also that that's why we translated in Aramaic. Afterwards, it's like, okay, here's Lashon HaKodesh, but now we're...
Because we said the Aramaic, what it does is it clarifies the Lashon HaKodesh. Right? There were three, what he's talking about is, there is the Lashon HaAmim, the Lashonis HaAmim, right? That's the languages that we said are impure. Right? Lashon HaKodesh is Kulei Kodesh. Right? It's called Lashon HaKodesh. It's pure. And in Aramaic, we said it has both. Lashon, what?
It has pieces. Parts of it are.
No, right. It has both. It has in it. That's the mamutza, right? It's the one that it's the connector. It connects things, and it actually clarifies Lashon HaKodesh. That's why when we do Shnayim Mikra V'Echad Targum. The Targum is there to clarify what the Torah is trying to tell us. Right, and that's a beautiful thing. So that's why we say the Targum. That's right. That's one of the reasons why we say the Targum. Ki ikar kedusha bechinas bria v'atzilus shehem bechinas leiv upeh. The idea of atzilus we said is peh. The world of bria is the leiv. So I'm trying to take the words, the kedusha of the world of atzilus, and place it into my heart, which is the bria, which is the idea of the leiv. Okay, shehem bechinas kodesh kodesh. Okay, so this is the idea of Kodesh Kodesh. Okay, so I think we'll stop over here. Tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to talk about the Shir Shel Yom. How we get to the world of Bria, we have to get now back down to the world of Yetzirah, right? And then when we say Ein Kelokenu, right? We come to Ein Kelokenu, we say Ketoris again. That's our introduction back into this world here, the world of Asiya. That's how we could safely bring our what do you call it? Our packages that Hashem granted us, right? All of the blessing Hashem granted us, we can safely bring it back into the world. Okay, so this is where what? It's an amazing idea, right? I think these lessons are so. I love all the lessons, Rav Nassim, but these are just fascinating, right?
I have one question about when Mashiach comes.
Okay, only one? Wow. Chazaku Baruch. Wow.
Are the Philadelphia Eagles still going to play?
Rambam says there's be no difference. Right?
No difference? Okay.
That reminds me of a tape I was listening to. It was Rabbi Fran, I believe. He was talking to, I believe it was the city of Atlanta, and he was talking about the days of Mashiach, and we're all going to go to Eretz Yisrael, and this lady asked a question, and I could just hear it in her voice. I saw her, it was so tamimistic. She goes, but what's going to happen to our houses? I just did renovations, and she meant it.
Yeah.
I just got my kitchen after 40 years. I finally convinced my.
It was very holy, but yet also.
Or I just got my eyesight.
Because they don't have kitchens in Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about the renovation, saying something beautiful. I have one of my rebbeim is Rabbi David Spiegel. He should be well in Cedarhurst, right? The Ostrov Kalashina Rebbe is an amazing person, mamish amazing. And his Rebbitzin was very close with his Rebbitzin also, Aleh Shalom. She was mamish a big tzaddikus. She wanted so badly to get a new kitchen. She wanted so badly to get a new kitchen. No, really. She was someone that really enjoyed. If you ever, were you ever in the Stiebel in Cedarhurst? Did you ever make it to the Stiebel?
No, I don't think
The
so.
Stiebel. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful Stiebel. She designed it, Baruch Hashem.
Did they have minyanim going?
Oh, yeah. What?
Like, did they have Shabbos minyan, like
They have a few different chakras. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
like 11 o'clock? Is that the
No. 10 o'clock. No, that's the son-in-law, Rabbi Naftali White.
Naftali White,
That's
yeah.
Naftali. He's one of the son-in-laws from England. No, so why am I telling you this story? Because she got a Yerusha. She had gotten a Yerusha, and she wanted to use the money for the kitchen, but she realized that the mikveh that they had downstairs in the basement was not that nice, and then she was very close with a lot of the women in the neighborhood. And some of the women didn't feel comfortable going to the mikveh. That they used that for Friday night for the ladies. The mikveh they would use for Friday night for the ladies. They didn't feel comfortable going to the mikveh. Some of them weren't that religious, you know. She said, you know what, I will use my money to rebuild the mikveh. And she did that. Years later, I did her kitchen for her.
She was happy. She loved it.
What?
Yeah, she loved her kitchen.
Oh, yeah. She was a very, very, very special person. But I mean, just really, you realize that she took her money to give it to a mikveh. I mean, that's amazing thing, right? Realize, you know. Okay. All right, so
The kitchen is a very holy place for women.
Kitchen.
yeah. Baruch Hashem. Yeah, it was really amazing to be able to learn to be Meshamish Rabbi Spiegel and the Rebbe. It was unbelievable.
How
Yeah.
old is Rabbi Spiegel?
Kenainer, he's up there.
In the 90s?
I don't know if he made it to 90, but he's Baruch Hashem. All right. Anyway, so we're learning in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. I think we finished yesterday Vav. We're in Hey, and we did Vav. So let's do Zayin today. Okay, here we go. Zion. So we're talking about preparing a place for davening, right? What is considered, where can you do something of Kedusha, right? Where can you daven? Where can you, learn Torah, right? Whatever you want to do, something of Kedusha, what do you have to do to prepare? So we're discussing that if there's any kind of tsoa, any kind of excrement, what do you have to do? You have to cover it. You have to, and how you have to cover. We learned all these ideas. Today we're in Zion. So now we're going to talk about here tsoa yevosha kol kach. You have excrement that's very dried out. It's very dried out. Shehi nifreches ayidei gegola. When it almost turns into dust as you roll it. If you roll it, it just disintegrates. Right, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's very.
Yeah, I roll it quite often.
It becomes back into it becomes into dust. Okay, he can offer. That's like dust. That is like dust, right? It falls apart, and there's nothing to it. It's like dust. Okay, as long as there's no foul odor, right? If there's even a foul odor coming from it at that point, then this is out. We're talking about can that excrement be there? Will it disqualify that place for you to daven, right?
Interesting. I mean, I was telling you the other day that during COVID, Ellie was davening by you.
He used to have his hockey
He had
stick.
his hockey stick.
Yeah.
You know, so he'd go to do a slapstick and of certain pieces, and the thing would turn to dust. Mamish, mamish like that.
Well, they didn't do such a good job the
So-
day before, right?
Yeah, right. Other stuff, there's just that rolls out, and the cars move.
Oh, yeah.
there's- So you're right. I mean, I actually see like.
Yeah, these halachos are
Mamish,
real.
now there's dust everywhere, And
Yeah. But it didn't smell.
no.
So then it's fine. Then it's like, then he says it's like offer. It's dirt. Okay. Okay. Aval im nik risha machmas hakar. But let's say it became hard, right? Because it's cold, right? You have that. Let's say in New York or in other climates, right, where things freeze. So the dog, or we said yesterday, a dog wasn't necessarily the problem. The problem was with cats and birds. There's some kind of a red hen or something, right? And chicken, things like that. But either way, if you have the excrement and it became hard because it's only cold, okay? Kevan sheyechoyle lachzar lekadmusa. But now if the sun comes out that day, let's say early in the morning, it's cold, right? Let's say you're in the Northeast or you're somewhere in a cold climate, right? Where in the morning things are frozen, right? You lived in New Jersey, you know what I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Right, right, Yossi, you know about that, right? You lived in Cleveland, right? Gets a little cold out there, right? Yeah, it gets cold. You don't know about that.
Boston.
Oh, Boston. Oh, yeah, Boston too. Yeah. So things. But now, let's say that it got frozen in the morning. Now you're going to daven in the morning. But the question is now, when the sun comes out later, is it going to still have that smell? Is it only hard now because it froze? But is it still active? Let's say. Okay. This is okay.
They really addressed like it all.
Bizman hachom. So now when it gets hot again, it'll turn back into it. Adayin shem tzoaleh. It still has this. It's called excrement. So if it dried out, it was there for a long time and it dried out, or it was very very hot and it dried out. It could have dried out right away. If it's 120 degrees, it may dry out right away. Okay, that's fine. Then there's no problem with that because then we said it's considered offer. But if it changed, if it changed because it was cold, but then as the sun comes out, it'll come back again. That still is called excrement. And you can't. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to pray in that place. At that time, you have to remove it, cover it, or do something. Okay. Vitzoa. Look at this word. Sheniskasa b'shelik. So let's say you have excrement that it snowed. Right. The dog did his bit. Right. Whatever. There's excrement on the floor, but there's snow on top of it. So now what? What would you say? Would you say it's frozen? Would you say it's what would you say? No. So would that be okay? So it says choshev kikisoy. That's a good covering. So if you had, let's say you're in a place where you have snow and there's excrement, so you could take some snow and dump the snow on top of it, and then you're all set. The snow is considered a kisoy, even though when the sun will come out, that's the chiddush. Even though when the sun will come out, it'll melt, and then you'll have it back. But right now it's still snow, so right now it's good. Not the case where it was frozen. You see how this changes? Look at it, because you would think when the excrement was frozen. But when it gets sunny again and it gets warmer, it'll turn back. It'll be considered soa. Then you can't pray in that place. You understand? But if it's covered with,
you can't see it.
But that's not okay. But
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Right. So right. No, it is right. But it's like you may have thought that's not a good covering because if it's cold, if it's only snow because it's cold. But if it gets warm, it won't be considered snow. The snow will melt. It'll be water. So it won't. But that's still the halacha is that you can cover with snow. And Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. So I think that's the halacha that we'll do today.
So that means that if it's there and there's snow, but the snow isn't on it, you can take snow.
You could take and cover with the snow. Yeah. You could use snow as a covering.
Okay.
Snow is a covering for anything you'd like. Halacha says that's a covering.
It must be really challenging to live on a farm.
On a farm?
Yeah, like we have horses and cows and chickens and.
No, but it's interesting, even in I'll tell you something. Even in Hilchas Mikvah, right? So much so that shows snow and ice has a what do you call? There's a basis in halacha. It's amazing because you could take. Let's say you need to fill up a mikvah. You need mei geshamim. You need mei geshamim. You can't use mayim she'uvim, right? You can't have drawn waters, but you could take an ice. You can go and get a big giant ice, an ice. They have these places that they get a big block of ice. You could put it in a pickup truck. You could drive it to your mikveh and get that big chunk of ice into the mikveh, right? And then let it melt over there, and that's not considered mayim shuvim.
Wait, so if you put the ice directly in the mikveh?
Even though it was, but now it changed into ice, so it's not water. It changed into ice, so it's not water. Now it's ice. And it only becomes water in the mikveh. So it's not mayim shuvim. It's amazing.
So
here in Eretz Yisrael, they fill a lot of mikvahs like that. They use ice because they don't always get rain. Let's say you finish the mikvah in the dry season, right? Now you want to fill up your mikvah, so you can go get ice. and put ice into the boros, fill up the boros with ice, let it melt, and then your boros are filled.
Ice that came from.
Doesn't matter where it came from. Doesn't matter because it loses its shame of mayim.
It's not water.
It loses its name of it being water because now it's ice. It's fascinating. Yeah, that's why you have to know halacha to know what to do. Everyone have a wonderful day. Kol tuv.